We will start with this thing. Practice.c. तो सबसे पहले हम लोग करेंगे we'll first define the data structure. Now this is a naming convention here. Typedef is a keyword जो compiler अपना recognize करता है. What it basically does is, rather than writing it as struct ticket or something like that, I wrote it as typedef struct and I wrote it in this format. What this does is कि पहले वाले में जैसे मैं struct करके वो structure का नाम लिख के लिखता था, इसके बदले I can use this thing that I have written, ये जो नीचे जो लिखा है, I can use this as a data type like int or char or something. So I can write. So now this here is a data type जिसके member fields ये दो है, and this is a variable of this thing. In fact, if we print, say, if we want to look at the size of this thing, we can even have a look at that. Excuse me guys, just
Yeah, guys. So as you can see, I have posted a poll. The question is, how can you make an object code in GCC? So please do submit your votes on that.
Manthan, there is a doubt on the meeting chat. Just please look it.
yeah, sure. Okay, so I am following a particular naming convention. It is important to use to name your variables and your data types appropriately. So BTS is basically, it came up from this seminar's name, behind the scenes. So it's short for that. So the way you follow the naming convention is, first it is your module name or the project name. In this case, I have chosen it to be BTS. The next one would be your ticket, because it's going to be a ticket, and underscore T means data type. This is a POSIX standard. Google POSIX, if you guys are curious. All right.
Yeah, Manthan, first of all, we can't see your screen. And secondly, I have posted a poll regarding how to make object code in GCC, like what is the command. So it seems like people are not like sure about what is the command that we use for in the GCC to convert your C files into object code. So can you please just
Yeah, I'm
clarify?
writing the answer. Okay, clear? Chalo. Now let's continue with this, the code. Okay.
Before you continue, there is one more doubt as well. There is one more doubt. Just
Sure.
Yeah.
किधर है? Acha, okay. What is the difference between normal struct, type def struct, and which is better? There is not much difference. It is only in a convenience. Okay, I'll tell you I'll tell you how type def works. 1 second. So type def is a keyword that allows you to kind of alias a data type. All right. I can even write this as struct this thing. Or for convenience, if you want, I can write it at this. But ये थोड़ा kind of standard नहीं होता है. ठीक है. Then तब मैं कैसे लिखूंगा ये struct ticket space text. Okay. और फिर यहाँ पे भी वो change हो जाएगा. Whatever it is. Now, language में is this keyword called type def, which allows you to alias को क्या बोलते हैं? Kind of, it's like a label. I can write type def int as hello, or you know some. चल hello लिखेंगे. So अभी क्या होगा? ये जो hello है ना, I can use hello as if it was int. ये data type का ही नाम है. ये असल में int ही है. This is nothing different. So इसका भी 4 byte allocate होगा. This is int. It is just that it allows me to kind of, you know, context लेके आता है ये. For example, there is a data type called long. अभी long लिखने को कौन इतना मेहनत करता है? And programmers लोग are very आलसी. So what they do is type def long as ll. So instead of writing long some number, I will instead write ll. Meaning same hai, but I am writing much less characters now than before. Similarly, I can do that the same for this thing, structures also. So if I use type def struct, what will happen is कल को instead of writing this thing, this whole लंबा struct space ticket, इससे अच्छा यहाँ पे जो मैंने लिखा है ना, if I write ticket, तो मेरे को struct लिखने का गरज नहीं है. This is now aliased into the structure. समझा क्या? Hello. Guys, mic unmute करके बोल सकते हो. So that's how type def is.
Yes.
Yeah, Manthan, so what's the difference between hash define and type def?
Hash define and type def.
They both seems to be similar.
Yeah, you can achieve similar things, but the difference is कि तुम कौन से stage पे करते हो. Hash define pre-processor पे करते हैं, right? So pre-processor जब define करते हो तो सिर्फ replace कर दे रहा है text. It's as if तुम कर रहे हो, तो वो सिर्फ मजूरी का काम कर रहा है. Your compiler never sees. If you say write hash define ll space long, तो तुम्हारा जो प्री प्रोसेस आउटपुट रहेगा ना, वहां पे जिधर भी तुमने ll लिखा है ना, वो long हो जाएगा. Alright. Your compiler never sees ll. It only sees long. So and जब तुम type def करते हो, तो type def happens in the compilation phase. Alright. Apart from that, there are many kind of limitations in using preprocessor. For example, preprocessor में there is something known as type checking. तुमने अगर int star को float का address दिया तो वो kind of warning देता है, right? So how does that happen? Your compiler is actually checking the types of the input and your variable. अगर तुम preprocessor use करोगे ना इसमें, तो preprocessor does not do that. It does not do type checking, whereas compiler does. So that's why you should use type def instead of macros. This thing.
Okay, got it. Yeah, thank you.
So let's move on. Convention is BTS is the project name followed by the module name or the data type name, and then this underscore t. Underscore t means that it's a data type. So अगर मैंने यहाँ पे सिर्फ ये लिखा तो somebody can confuse this with a variable also. तो ये variable नहीं है, ये data type है. That's why I'm saying underscore t. Okay, cool. Anybody can tell me what this 168 means here?
Size in bytes.
हाँ,
With the
but
structure?
168 कहाँ से आया? Why 168?
Yeah, so integer ka you have defined two arrays. So one is of size 27 and one is of 15. So the whole structure is kind of the addition of all the data which you are occupying in that.
42 into 4.
Yep, बरोबर. That's why. So basically, the size of a structure is total size of all the constituents. Just a kind of trivia thing. Okay, cool. This is done. Now we will talk about the modules. So as I talked about कि हम लोग को हर एक प्रोग्राम में स्टेटस वगैरह चेक करने का रहता है. So I will use typedef. Rahul, you are asking for control? Hello.
Yeah, it was a by mistake.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
ये किसी को समझा क्या? ये लाइन नंबर 3. That's good. यहाँ पे मैं सारे क्या कर रहा हूँ? These are all the status that a program function can, come up with. इतने भी है, इतने ही हो ऐसे जरूरी नहीं है, but these are some of the standard ones that are observed. So what we have done is, मैंने इसके हर एक को macros define करके रखे हैं. Throughout the program, we will be using these macros, and after the preprocessor output, ये सारे numbers में convert हो जाएंगे. But it won't matter to us because ये सिर्फ readability ensure करने के लिए use होते हैं. सब main तो. Now, what will happen is we will
Hello,
use.
Manthan.
Yeah.
Before you proceed, actually, like structure, there is also union where, like as you said, the structure, the memory allocated is the total of all the constituents, and in union, it is the memory allocated is of the greatest. So in what condition, like in what instance will we use a union? Like, is there some example?
Mostly I have hardly used union ever, but union is usually used कि जहाँ पे your memory footprint is same or your memory map is same, but you want to store different data. I haven't actually used, so I don't have much idea कि union किधर use करते हैं, frankly. Like structures on the other hand बहुत ज़्यादा use हुआ था because custom उसमें help होता था.
Okay.
You can, I guess you can Google or something. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
I can't help here much. Okay.
Okay.
ठीक है. So do you guys all understand this from line 3 to 11 or need I say more about it? We'll be using this, so धीरे धीरे idea आते जाएगा. Now we will write all the module functions, which we will later convert into libraries. Right. So these are some of the functions that I came up with. Process क्या होगा? जो भी मेरा ticket that this is stored, ये जो भी ये data type है, इसका जितना भी instances होगा, I will be using the dynamic memory to store it. Which is why I will require two modules, bts ticket underscore new and bts ticket underscore delete. One will allocate memory from heap and give it uska pointer dega. The second one will delete it and it will return status, or maybe this is not required. Chalo, we'll change this as well. Okay. The next one is, since I want to read a ticket from file, that's why I've written this thing. इसमें हम क्या provide करेंगे as arguments? Constant char star file name. Constant is a keyword here which tells me कि I can only read this parameter. इसका जो argument रहेगा मैं उसको read कर सकता हूँ. If I even try to change it, the compiler will give me error. So that's it. It helps in that case. And then there is bts underscore status underscore t star status. Usually मैं most of the functions में ये एक parameter end में डालता हूँ. क्या होता है कि I'll provide it with a variable to the function and I will tell it कि boss तुम्हारा जो भी program का status है वो ये variable में डालो. So after every function I will read this status so that I will know whether the function went properly or not. and then I can decide उसके हिसाब से accordingly. Alright. Nextly, तुम लोग देखोगे तो every function starts with BTS, which is the module's name, and that actually brings in some kind of uniformity.
Sorry to interrupt, Manthan. There is some doubt. People are not getting what is UINT 8_T. So can you please explain?
Okay, cool. Yep. Wait, where is it? Okay, UINT is unsigned. This U means unsigned. Int is integer. This 8 specifies the number of bits, basically. So this is an unsigned 8-bit data type. I can also change this as unsigned int. It won't matter much here. The range of UINT 8_T goes from 0 to 255, as you know, in binary. On the other hand, there is also a data type called int 8_T, whose range is from -128 to 127. Cool. U means unsigned, and 8 is the number of bits. All right, sure. We'll start with these two functions first. Do you guys know how to dereference and access the contents of a structure? Because यहाँ पे what I'm doing is I'm using a pointer to this data type, and उसके अंदर भी there are these things. So in order to access that, what I will do, I'll first dereference the pointer star of text. Then I can use this as if कि ये मेरा variable है of data type BTS_ticket_T. So उसके बाद I can use this, say lines. But since it's an array, so I have to also provide it as an index. Now, for all of this, if you look at this part particularly, this dereferencing and accessing the structure, there is a shorthand for that. That is this. ये जो symbol है ना, this thing basically means star of text dot lines 0. This is the same. Both of these are one and the same. I am basically accessing the data that is pointed by the text. उसका मैं ये member का first variable access कर रहा हूँ. Now what I'm trying to do here is कि every time this function creates a new ticket, I need to initialize it to 0. Why? Because every time this malloc allocates some memory, it does not initialize it to 0, which means कि उसमें पहले का कोई तो कचरा garbage data would be there, and if I do not clean it, then it can actually interfere in many of the programs. I'll kind of initialize everything to 0. A much more convenient way is to use another function called calloc. I am only using malloc here, but if you use calloc, you won't have to write this block of code. It will already initialize it. Okay, so what is happening here is कि मेरा जो for loop है, it will run 27 times. It will go from 0 to 26. If you count that, that is actually 27 times. Now, as you can see here, there are two fields, int lines, which is of size 27, and int checked which is of size 15. So मुझे ये 15 और इसको मैं दो अलग अलग लूप में करूँ, इससे अच्छा मैंने एक ही लूप में कर दिया. So 27 में as long as I is less than 16 मैं checked को clean कर सकता हूँ, मैं checked को initialize कर सकता हूँ. So that's what is happening here. So this block will ensure that this checked का 15 locations are accessed. Now here, as long as I goes from 0 till 14, this line is executed. And once it goes beyond 15, this line तो हो ही रहा है, मतलब 0 से 26 तक this line is going to get executed anyways. Okay, that's new. Chalo, this is done. We'll then now work on this one. Now, in this case, you have to realize that somebody who is going to call this function is going to provide me with file name, and it will probably he or she will probably provide me with status. सबसे पहले I'll need to check कि उसने file name बरोबर डाला है कि नहीं, because if it doesn't give me input parameters बरोबर से, I cannot do my function properly inside this. So what I'll do is I'll first create a local variable of type bts underscore status underscore t. Yeah, let's say कुछ मैं अंडरस्कोर स्टेटस लिख रहा हूँ because there is already a status here. ये जो है वेरिएबल ये मुझे यूजर प्रोवाइड करेगा. This is my local one जो whose scope is inside the function only. And now here I will use all these macros to determine the state of what the function is output. Okay, error or whatever. All right. So initially everything is okay. Now if the file name is null, उसने कुछ नहीं provide किया. My status is bts underscore status underscore null argument. So तुमको समझ रहा है, इसमें अभी context आ गया अभी. Tomorrow if your function this अगर तुमने कभी ढूंढ के निकाला कि bts function is not working properly and if you start debugging, all you have to do is write a print statement at every point whether the status is proper or not, and you just have to keep on track of where the status is going wrong, and then you can very quickly determine what is going wrong. So this mechanism helps you do that. Apart from that, it will also prevent many errors later on that we will see. Now we will require a buffer. What will this buffer do is, तुम्हारे text file में जो भी रहेगा, it is in the form of characters. All the numbers that you write, they're also characters. So we'll need to convert everything. So first thing that we will do is we are going to copy it from the text file to our buffer. And then we are going to convert the characters inside the buffer into numbers. And then we are going to store those numbers inside our ticket, our local data type that we have created. Cool. So let's write this function for read from file. Now here, let us first define कि हमारा ticket का input format क्या होगा. So since there are 9 numbers, I was thinking of, we could use say 9 brackets like this. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right. And there are 3 lines. So these are 27 values. All these values, XX means blank hai. So initially this ticket will be printed blank, and the user will then fill in with their own ticket number. Based on whatever the ticket content has, all these X's will be replaced by the numbers that exist inside the ticket, and we can have a digital replica of the housing ticket. Cool. Now, if we look at this thing, you can see that for every number there are almost 4 characters used. All right. So 4 9s are 36, and so we are kind of, मैं 60 रख रहा हूँ because anything can go wrong. बीच में अगर उसने कुछ space वगैरह add किया, something like that, या बीच में कुछ errors आ गया. So I am basically ensuring कि ये सब कुछ issues रहेगा तो भी my program will be able to handle it, and that's why I will keep a buffer that is large enough for this. All right. So I can go for 40 or I can go for 50, nothing wrong with it, as long as it is greater than 36. Now the function that I will use for reading is fget. As you can see here, this is actually one of the benefits of using Notepad++. It is actually showing me the syntax of how an fget_s works. So the first parameters is this char f, char star s, which is a pointer to an integer. Here we are going to provide our buffer. We can either write buffer or we can write and buffer 0, which is the address of the first variable of the first index of the buffer. Either way, it's okay. N may I'll write buffer size, and then I will write the stream, which is text file. This is the file stream. As you can see here, this is what we are going to write in the space of stream. What will happen is, if the fget_s works properly, then it will read the first line till the time it reaches the new line. So inside every text file, basically the ending after the end of every line एक /n रहता है. This is actually called as the new line character. ये अभी जो मैंने लिखा है वैसे नहीं, but इसके बाद के उसमें दिखेगा नहीं, but वो रहता है. And the fget_s is able to read this new line character. So what will happen is, as long as it is not encountering a new line character, or it is not overflowing this thing, it will keep on reading the characters. In this case, our this line is very much less than 50, तो ये पूरा ही read हो जाना चाहिए. Now, assuming that this first line had first line के पास 50 characters होते, so what would happen is the first 49 characters would get read. The last जो block रहेगा ये buffer के अंदर, that would be null terminated. ये fget_s खुद करता है. Alright. So पहले ये होगा then we will use the function called, जो मैंने अभी उसका define नहीं किया, but I'm going to define it later on. So ये जो character buffer था, मुझे उसको अभी number sequence में convert करना है. तो मैंने पहले ही सोच के रखा that I'll write a function that will take in this constant char star line, which is the buffer, and मुझे output में यहाँ पे मुझे एक sequence देगा, which I can then actually store it inside my ticket. So I will call it here for now. We will define it later on. My output here would be, did I create a text variable? Wait 1 second. So this thing is going to return a pointer to this thing, right? So I'll create a variable for that. And then I'll actually use this function, this new function, मैं इसको call करके एक blank ticket का memory जो है वो मैं इसको allocate करके दूंगा यहाँ पे somewhere. All right. So now my new ticket has blank memory allocated by this function. I will use this later on. ऊपर यहाँ पे जाके, यहाँ पे it's an int star, right? Okay. This shall give me the first line of the ticket. Yeah, first row I can say. Now I have to do this 2 more times to get the second and third row. Of course, the address will be different. So first row stores 9, which means the indices will start from 0 to 8. So the second row should start with 9. And the third row should start similarly with 18. But let's say कि जब मैंने ये suppose इतना part लिखा, and let's say even if it works out, there are times when this ticket में किसी ने कुछ तो गड़बड़ कर दिया, you know, some character इधर उधर कर दिया, some buffer overflow हुआ, and there are times when this fgetS is not able to read the line properly. In such cases, it will return a null. इसका fgetS function का itself there is a null, there is a return type. So if the function fails to read the line, then it will return null. And we can actually check it to test whether fgetS actually, you know, read the line properly. So if we use this, the above if condition tells me that this means that fgetS could not read the line properly. This is an error condition. So we need to clean up and return error to whoever called us, basically, be it main function or, you know, whatever. So what we will do is here we will set the local status as memory read failed, I guess. And then we will do PTS underscore because as I said कि अगर तुमने नया मेमोरी डायनेमिक मेमोरी से allocate किया तो उसको free भी करना पड़ेगा. So in case of error, you need to do that. All right. That is an error case. Now suppose ये नहीं हुआ, that means we successfully read all that. So then next line will get executed. तो first row हमारा first row से sequence आ जाएगा. So we will write it here. And फिर ये जो है second and third row उसको भी kind of nested if else structure में ही आ जाएगा वो भी. And this whole code will get repeated. Clear? अगर तुम लोग को थोड़ा intense लग रहा है तो we can take a break or something. You guys
Yeah,
can
but
have a look at this. Okay.
actually, this can get very overwhelming for the students who are very new
ठीक
to
है.
C programming. So
हाँ.
I would like to suggest you कि is it possible for you to just copy paste the whole code into the chat session so that everyone can view and you can just give an overview again that what you have done in a very brief way.
मतलब क्या कोड लिख के दो पूरा?
हाँ,
And
So
just
maybe
I'll just
you can
explain
share
what
the
I.
text file and you can go through the code once again.
Yeah.
ठीक है, I can do that. So let's do this thing. We'll take a break, 15-20 minutes. Let me just write this whole function. I'll even test it if you want. And फिर मैं सीधा .c file तुमको share कर देता हूँ. Then we'll focus on the easier functions. This is a bit big. I know that. थोड़ा सा ये थोड़ा ज़्यादा ही repetitive and complicated हो गया है. ठीक है. Let's take a 5 and we'll return to this thing. Till then I'll keep on writing this in this thing. So all those who are interested and are able to follow up, you guys can still continue seeing this. Others can, take a break and we'll share the source code. No issues.
Actually, it will be great if you just copy paste the code right here in the meeting chat, so everyone can just follow up. Ki, okay, this is what you have written up till now.
अभी खत्म नहीं हुआ ना कोड लिखने का हो जाएगा उसके बाद ही शेयर कर पाऊंगा.
ठीक
I'm
है,
still
no,
writing,
no.
so there will be edits and stuff.
Yeah, okay, no problem, fine.
ठीक है. So once this is done, if you want, I'll share it in the chat. Okay. Then we'll explain. हेलो गाइस.
Yeah,
Yes.
Manthan.
हाँ, तुम लोग let me know. I'm continuing. I'll keep on writing the code. You guys let me know कि कब
Uh,
break खत्म होगा. So then I'll start
yeah,
explaining. I'm
yeah.
still writing all the comments and everything. If you guys for
No, no, you
understanding.
can start. It's okay.
So हाँ, ये एक बार ये bts underscore get sequence function हो जाएगा ना, and then there's a no small function, छोटू सा function है, वो दोनों लिख दिया ना, then we can actually start testing and I'll explain to you how the sequence works. ये एक बार बरोबर से हो गया, then we can actually look at how to debug this program. तो GNU का एक debugger करके एक software आता है which allows you to uh, step through each line of code and examine variables बीच में से to stop the execution and examine variables. So we'll look at that also later on. For now, just hang on, I think. Let us finish this. So, character array, let's say कि ऐसा कुछ है यहाँ पे. If this thing is red, then each of this is a character, right? अगर मैंने यहाँ पे change करके 1 और 2 लिखा, so ये जो 1 है और ये जो 2 है, ये भी actually में ASCII characters है. इसका ASCII value of 1 is 49 and 2 it is 50. So inside this character हम लोग को ये दोनों को actually में numbers में convert करना पड़ेगा. We'll have to convert ASCII 49 followed by ASCII 50 and you have to convert into a number called 12. So we'll have to write a function. So उसके लिए क्या करेंगे? We'll create this memory of type character जिसका size 2 है. हमारा rule ये है, we are assuming कि every number will be of 2 characters only because 2-digit number है. This means कि अगर तुम 1-digit number लिख रहे हो तो भी उसको तुमको 07 लिखना पड़ेगा, 7 नहीं चलेगा, because then it will start reading this and we don't want that. The program will crash. ठीक है? So that's why we are using this temp. Now this will execute 9 times because we want 9 numbers from our line. This for loop actually executes 9 times for 9 numbers in a row. अगर तुम्हारे बफर में 10 नंबर रहेगा तो भी ये 9 टाइम ही चलेगा basically. So that way our function will be robust. ठीक है. अभी लॉजिक कैसा है इसमें? What logic we'll use in grabbing all these numbers from all this mess of characters, because there is this opening bracket, then there is this closing bracket, and unke beech mein. So logic that we will use is, we will use a loop that will keep on incrementing till it finds this character, this opening bracket. Once it finds this opening bracket character, then we will say ki anything that all the next 2 places that follow this thing are actually going to be numbers. So we are going to take in this the next next 2 characters, and then ये जो 2 characters लिए, we are going to store it in temp. We are going to write a small function that will convert these 2 characters into a single number, that is characters 7 and 0, and it will convert it into a number called 70, and it will return this number. All right, and then we will come back from that function, and this loop will kind of execute for the second time. The second time the process will repeat. So now this my cursor is here after 0. Now I will start my while loop, and it will keep on incrementing till it finds this opening bracket character again. So after 0, there is this closing bracket character. Since it's not the same as the first one, we are going to ignore that. And उसके बाद let's say कुछ space वगैरह डाला यहाँ पे suppose यहाँ पे ये सारे white space है. So what will happen is इसके बाद फिर से increment होगा. It will again check whether it's the opening bracket. If it's not, it will increment, and फिर से एक बार जैसे ये आया, it will come out of that loop, and the next code again would be to copy the next two characters inside the temporary variable, convert it into numbers and store that. So that is going to be our algorithm. Alright, that's the basic algorithm. ये जैसा अगर हम लोग line 1 के लिए कर सकते हैं, get sequence एक line के लिए करता है, so वैसे हम 3 बार कॉल करेंगे इसके ऊपर वाले फंक्शन में, so we can read the whole ticket inside our data. Cool. Now we will write this thing. So first thing is, this is for iterating through 9 numbers inside this. All right, 9 numbers. Maybe first step क्या है? The first step is to keep on incrementing till it reaches an opening bracket character. So first we will initialize the char underscore 0. For this thing, we are going to use char underscore I for incrementing through the character. So char underscore I essentially represents the location of which character I'm looking at. All right. So I'll use while loop. Then I'll say I have buffer, right? My input parameter is this constant char star line, which is a character buffer. So while this is not equal to, this is a comparison. While this is not equal to this character, what I'll do is I'll do char underscore I plus plus, which means move on forwards. But इसमें एक glitch है, if you guys haven't observed it. What if इसमें से मैं सारे opening brackets निकाल दूं? Now what will happen is वो increment करते रहेगा, but it won't find opening bracket anywhere. It will keep on incrementing. And ये एक बात याद रखना कि actually में text file में नहीं दिख रहा है. ये जो भी increment हो रहा है ना, वो ये जो line है ना, ये line buffer है ना, उसमें हो रहा है. और अगर ये line किधर किसी कोई chunk of memory निकला और उसमें ये increment करते गए, then there will be a time कि जब ये line का जो fixed size है उसको overflow कर देगा, and it will start stepping into the boundaries that it is not meant to be in. This is one of the dangerous parts of C. मतलब इसीलिए लोग C को इतना बोलते हैं कि it's very dangerous, because there are very minimal security measures for that, and you can very easily access memories that you are not supposed to. So we will have to explicitly provide protection for that also. So उसके लिए हम एक simple if लिखेंगे कि अगर char underscore I is greater than or equal to, and इसमें if you guys realize कि मैंने initially एक यहाँ पे unsigned int max buffer size दिया हुआ है, हम लोग वो डाल देंगे इसमें. So this is the buffer size of my line जो मैं provide कर रहा हूँ. इससे क्या होगा, मैं ही उसको बताऊंगा कि अगर इसके ऊपर गया तो बस एरर बना दे कि बरोबर नहीं था, कुछ तो तुम्हारे टिकट के फॉर्मेट में गड़बड़ है, so you exit properly. So इसमें I think normal error status ही चलेगा, and then we will break out of this thing. ठीक है. Then the next step is, okay, let me just revert this back to its format. The next step is कि once it has found this block of code will ensure कि मेरा cursor is always at the starting this thing. अभी मुझे इसका जो next +1 and +2 memory location है, वो दोनों में numbers होने वाले हैं. So what I'm going to do is my temp, which is a size 2 character array, is going to be +1 for the first tens part and +2 for this thing. So now that we have copied this, these two lines means कि मैंने ये जो 7 और 0 है या 2 और 1 है, इन दोनों को copy कर दिया है. And then we are going to call another function inside that will resolve this thing. One second. जो इसको भी convert करेगा. ये किधर लिखा था मैंने? ऊपर किधर? ये रहा char to int. Let me just change this thing. ये थोड़ा यूनिफॉर्मिटी रहेगा इसमें भी, सब काइंड ऑफ यही फॉर्मेट के है इसलिए. ये फंक्शन मैं नीचे बाद में डिफाइन करूंगा. दिस विल बेसिकली रिटर्न मी द नंबर्स. तो मैं इसमें यही बताऊंगा कि pts char to int अभी के लिए मैं कुछ प्रोवाइड नहीं करूंगा इसको. चलो if everything goes well तो ये सीक्वेंस जो है वो बरोबर से भर जाएगा. ठीक है. And then we can simply return this. Actually इसका भी गरज नहीं है, मैं इसको डायरेक्टली आउटपुट में ही डाल दूंगा. In which case I'll also have to check कि वो बंदे ने आउटपुट मुझे null नहीं दिया है. And then instead of using this sequence जो local variable था, I will directly use this output pointer that was given to me by the function caller. So what is happening here is I'm assuming that this output, which is a pointer to an integer, actually points to a space of size 9. And in that, I'm going to fill it with the numbers that I find from the character array that the user has provided. And also the max buffer size ensures that the limit does not overflow. in order to find the character in case the format is bad. In case the format is bad, then we'll have to kind of break out of it. Yeah. Now, next thing is we'll then return the status. This is the local status of the program. We will return it as an output also. If status is okay, it will kind of return 0 as we have defined above. PTS_status okay is 0. In case any error has occurred based on what we have identified, it will give some negative value. And we can test this to check whether the function has worked properly. All right, now we'll go into the third function, which is to convert this string into a number. We'll have an output which we are going to return initially. Now we'll have to check whether the string is not null, because if it is null, then we'll have to set the status. Then we'll also have to write the local status variable. This is the status macro, signifying that initially everything is okay. Now if string is null, which is this input parameter, then underscore status is equals to null argument else. So as you can see, what is happening here is if this condition is true and the user is actually not provided us with any string or masti kar raha hai, then it will just change this status and it will skip this whole else block. Otherwise, if everything goes properly, then this else block will get executed where our main code will be, where our main code is working. This way we have to check for all kinds of issues first, and if everything is proper, if the conditions are proper, then you kind of do the implement the function. Okay. Since the size is going to be 2, we're actually going to be, we'll use the constraint and we'll just say now I know that the if you look at the ASCII table, then you will realize उसमें लिखा है that for the 0 character has a value of 48, and all the next this as a character has an integer value of 49, which means that if I write say write char a is equal to say some value this thing, and then if I try to print this as a character, will give me 0. But if I try to print this as a number, as an integer, then the output will be 48. That's the ASCII value. So we know that this initial offset is this thing. So whatever be the number, it has to be in the range of 48 to 48 plus 9, or from 0 to 9 character. So if the character box of 0 is greater than or equal to the 0th character, and the same character is also less than or equal to this number 9 in the ASCII. This is basically determining the range. If it is inside this, meaning if the character is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9, then this thing will get executed. Otherwise, I will consider it as some blank argument or some incorrect argument, and I will just set my output to be -1. I'll explain how this will work later on. Now, if this is barobar, Then we have to also check this for string box of the first character. This is the 0th index. So we'll also have to do it for the first index, the same thing. Do not shy from using these curly brackets. Use as much as you can and try to be as specific as possible. Do not leave any chance for ambiguity. So this bracket is for the first character. This is for the 0th index, and this whole is the if condition. All right. Now, if all of this is proper, then my output is equal to minus of this offset, because I need to convert it into, I need to convert this 48 into 0. So I'll just subtract it 48. If I want to convert 49 to 1, I'll subtract 48. So I'll have to subtract this specific offset. So instead of writing this 48, I can actually provide the reader some context to what I'm trying to do, and I can give them meaning. So what I'll do is, so from the ASCII table, from where the numbers start, my offset is 48. All right. And now I can use this macro directly. I could have directly written 48. But then अगर कल को दूसरे किसी ने तुम्हारा program पढ़ा, they might not understand what is happening. I'll multiply with tens, because the 0th character, which we actually looked at first, will be covering the tens place. This is multiplied by 10, and then this bracket for the first character, which will add with this thing, and this will be for the ones place. All right. So if you look at an example, say 7070. Let's say that string box of 0 will be character 7. In ASCII, it will be what? 48 plus 7, 55, I guess. So then if I subtract 55 minus 48, and I'll get 7, and I'll multiply it with 10. And then I have string box of 1, which is equals to 0, which is in ASCII 48 minus 48, which give me 0. जिसको मैं add करूंगा and I'll get 70 basically. All right. This is provided it is in these range. If it is not in this range, then the output will simply be -1, and we will be returning that. चलो done. Okay, मैं यहाँ पे रख रहा हूँ. Guys, we'll take a 5-minute break. You guys have a look at this, and we have completed for the most of the part. We have completed today's this thing. But इसको बस अभी हमें actually compile करके check करना है if there are any errors on it, anything. So just bear with me. We will just compile this, clean it of any errors, and we'll see if this actually works. अभी तो भर के एरर्स आने वाले हैं. ओह नहीं आया. नाइस. 126 14. Okay, yeah, I changed this definition में, but prototype में मैंने वही रखा था. Okay. And 171.93. Okay, chalo. Without any error, this got compiled. So now if there is any issue, it is only going to be a logical issue. What is this? We'll call this function in the main file. And we'll use the file name as ticket.txt. All right, we'll create a ticket now. So ये एक टेम्पलेट बना दिया. इसमें जितने भी नंबर्स के रेंज में रहेंगे उसमें नंबर्स बनेगा. जितने भी एक्सेस है या कोई भी लेटर है, एनीथिंग बियॉन्ड दैट इज नॉट इन द नंबर रेंज विल बी रिप्लेस्ड बाय -1. Okay, there seems to be some kind of issue, I guess. 1 second. ठीक है, चलो, I think now would be a good time to show how debugging happens. So in order to use a debugger, we need to first pass this -g flag to the while compilation GCC. Now that this has been happened, now the command to debug is gdb. gdb is GNU debugger. It's a program that allows you to debug basically. So you write gdb space your executable name, which is A here, and we have entered the debugger. There are multiple commands. In order to run the debugger, first thing that you need to do is, right now you're in the debugger, you need to start the program first, and that is with this R command. Once you do that, you will realize कि यहाँ पे कुछ तो लिखा हुआ आया है ये सब. उसके बाद the program actually has executed till the end, and then it has exited basically. And now here we can see that the program is exited normally, so there was no error or issues or anything. But let's say I want to examine in between what is happening. I want to step through, I need to see what is happening at every step. Then I need to give some explicit commands to the debugger to tell it ki, boss, do not just run with the code, run with the program. You stop at every point, and I want to, examine at that point. So these particular points are called breakpoints. Now, when I use this -g symbol, it allowed to kind of load symbols from the source file. So यहाँ पे अगर मैं सोर्स फाइल देखूंगा तो ये जो भी लाइन नंबर्स है या ये जो भी फंक्शन के नेम्स जिधर जिधर है, आई कैन एक्चुअली the GDB debugger can actually understand those lines, and it can understand कि मैं किस पॉइंट पे बताने का कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. Now the command to do this is we need to first set up something known as breakpoints. A breakpoint whenever the debugger starts the program and it starts running the code one by one instruction, as soon as it reaches a breakpoint, it will stop its execution. It will wait for you to explicitly tell it to continue. So the command is break, or short for BR, and now we are going to set a breakpoint at this line 75, BTS underscore read from file. Okay. And as you can see, उसने line पे लगा दिया. Now, if you look at this line 77, debugger automatically understood कि यहाँ पे the actual code starts at line number 77 in my source file. Okay, cool. So now the breakpoint has been set. Once the execution starts, the control will start from this main function. It will start from line number 35. Then it will kind of keep on executing. And at 36, what is happening is we are entering this read from file function, which is at line 75. Uska code starts from 77. So once it reaches 77, the debugger will stop the execution. It will wait for you to, do your work, or to explicitly command it. So now if I type R, or basically run, it starts. And as you can see here, thread 1 hit breakpoint 1. BTS read from file, which is the function that I was talking about. इसके बाद अगर तुम लोग देखोगे, so this file name is equals to some address and ticket.txt. So this is the input parameter that I provided, and this is the status ka address. So the debugger actually tells me what arguments also I passed, and uske baad if you look at the next line, this 77 space this part. So this actually matches the line from my source code. All right. Now there is a command called list, or L, which allows me to see the next lines from my source code. तो अगर मैं मुझे parallelly देख के नहीं रखना है, मुझे सिर्फ debugger चालू करना है, तो क्या होगा, मैं इसको नीचे लेके आऊंगा, and if I type list, वो मुझे source code का आगे का line बताएगा. So you can actually see कि ये line से ये line तक this is actually my source code जो मैंने लिखा था. Exactly ये वही है. Okay, this will give me context when I'm debugging, kind of. Now, the next command is called step. Step में क्या होगा कि step में it will execute one line of code, and जब वो next line पे आएगा तब वो रुक जाएगा. And as you can see here, BTS underscore ये जो भी line है, this 78 पे रुका हुआ है. And अगर हम लोग ये listing में देखेंगे हमारे, which starts from here, तो पहले हम लोग 77 पे थे. Now we reach 78 and it kind of stopped. All right. Now I don't think कि issues यहाँ पे किधर आ रहा है. Issue मुझे लगता है किधर आगे आ रहा है. So I can just keep on stepping, and वो आगे जाते जाएगा. Of course, now we can easily lose track of what is happening. अभी यहाँ पे क्या हुआ है कि हम लोग किसी लूप में अटक गए हैं. and I want to kind of come out of it, or I want to restart debugging because it kind of made a mess. तो मैं क्या करूँगा, मैं Q टाइप करके debugger को exit कर दूंगा directly in everything, and I will start again. Now I realized कि मेरा issue यहाँ पे नहीं था. Suppose read from file, it was probably in BTS get sequence जो मैंने read from file में किधर तक call किया है. So I look at this thing. I want to look at this line number 105. So मैंने directly, rather than setting the name itself, मैंने सिर्फ breakpoint पहले line number भी दे दिया, and that also works. And now I'll start running. आ गया ये इस line पे. There is another command called C for continue. Continue में क्या होता है? It is different from the step command. Step command में अगर तुमने कोई function को call किया and उसमें तुमने step किया, then it will actually go inside the calling function और उसमें भी line by line kind of जाएगा. Continue में क्या होएगा? वो continue कर देगा till the end, which I do not want. So I'll just start this again. This time I'll break it at 106 because मुझे इसका output देखना है BTS sequence का. What happened? Okay, wait. Breakpoint added. Start the execution. And उसने ये 105 का code execute कर दिया. Then there is a command called print that allows me to print any local variable जो function के अंदर शायद रहा होगा. So in this case, I have access to lines जो मैंने parameter provide किया था. Lines था कि lines? Sorry, it's new ticket, I guess. And as you can see, मैं बीच में program के बीच में देख सकता हूँ कि क्या हो रहा है. So definitely ये issue मेरे get sequence में आ गया है. That I can realize that. क्योंकि clearly यहाँ पे ticket में तो मेरे numbers vary हो रहे हैं. But ये नहीं, यहाँ पे मुझे realize हो रहा है कि ये जो 70 है वो बार बार इसी को read कर रहा है. So ये क्यों हो रहा है? ये मेरे लॉजिक में फ्लॉ था कि मैंने जो इनिशियली स्टार्टिंग ब्रैकेट था उसके बाद मैंने ये दो कैरेक्टर्स रीड किए, देन आई एम ट्राइंग टू फाइंड द नेक्स्ट ब्रैकेट, राइट? बट व्हाट हैपेंस इज व्हेन आई एम यूजिंग द व्हाइल कंडीशन इन माय गेट दिस थिंग, किधर गया ये रहा, you can see this code, this while वाला, where I'm trying to actually find the next bracket. इसमें क्या हो रहा है, ये ब्रैकेट के बाद मैंने इटरेटर को इंक्रीमेंट नहीं किया, which means it is not pointing to 7, it is actually still here. So जब ये while वाला कंडीशन हुआ तो ये फर्स्ट बार एक्सप्रेशन इवैल्यूएट हुआ, पहली बार में ये वो इक्वल है तो 70 को ही देख रहा है हर बार, वो आगे जा ही नहीं रहा है. Now we can solve this by saying char underscore I, एक बार इंक्रीमेंट कर दिया, मतलब ये मेरा एक बार काम हो गया तो मैं इसको इंक्रीमेंट कर दूंगा. Now let me just exit from this debugger because debugger ने मुझे insight दे दिया कि क्या issue आ रहा है. I will clear it and I will now recompile this. And थोड़ा सा मैं modify कर दूंगा मेरे print function को. And you can look at this. We have completed this part. As you can see यहाँ पे कि मेरा टिकट बरोबर से दिख रहा है, जितने भी नंबर 0 से 100 के बीच में है वो मुझे प्रॉपरली दिख रहे हैं, और जिधर जिधर मैंने मस्ती किया जैसे कि A7 या any letter that is not inside the range is replaced by -1, which we can cover it blank. We can actually, now we have a working storage of the ticket. We have actually read this from our file. If you want, we can now change this. Some 23. you know. Or something like that. And now I will not compile, I'll just run this and you will realize कि मैंने सिर्फ run किया है program और उसने फिर से वो text file को नया read किया and यहाँ पे you can see the updated values. So we have successfully read our ticket from this thing, and I think I should now, I've taken enough time. Let us wrap it up at this point. Thank you guys. Do you guys have any doubt or anything? I'll be sharing the code now on WhatsApp or MS Teams, whatever. Okay. Any questions, any doubts, anything? We have completed most of the part.
Yeah, so Manthan, can you please just answer all the questions that I asked in the meeting chat box?
Okay. Which one? Are you going to upload this recorded video? I think Rahul is recording it.
Not about that. About the polls. Like.
Okay, polls. Too many underscores. अभी है तो है, अभी नेमिंग कन्वेंशन फॉलो नहीं करोगे ना तो इतने वेरिएबल्स आ जाएंगे ना, you won't be able to keep track. So are your audio and video in sync? पता नहीं रे मेरे को, कैसे पता? How am I supposed to know? Okay. Dereferencing operator can only be used on pointers. Yes, obviously. Okay. When it is used, when do we need to prototype a function? Prototype is same as declaring, first of all. So, एक मिनट, background में बहुत आवाज आ रहा है. All right. So firstly, prototype is same as declaring. In case of function prototype करो, declare करो, it's almost similar. It just tells the compiler कि ऐसा कोई function है. तो अगर तुमने बाद में आगे जब तुम line by line पढ़ते जा रहे हो और तुमको definition नहीं मिला, तो तुम रोना मत basically. इसका definition है, बाद में है. It's like a placeholder. Okay. Does that clean it? अगर you can even define the function before using it, before the main function itself. So if you're calling that add function inside the main, तो तुम add function को main के ऊपर define करो, then you won't have to declare it. Then there's no need. But एक मैं तुमको कल बताता हूँ इसको library packaging के time पे कि declaration क्यों useful है. Okay. उसके अलावा और क्या क्या questions है? Okay. Which keyword just replaces a text in your code as declared when used? Hash define. Clearly. Hash define. Type def alias करता है और वो compiler के time पे है. In fact, okay, you know what? I'll just show you one small thing if you guys are still interested. We'll save it as चल temp.c. मैं इसमें क्या करता हूँ? Hash define.
Manthan, your screen is unavailable.
हाँ, my bad. Sorry. Okay. So I've created this temp.c file जिसमें मैंने void main कुछ function बनाया, नहीं बनाया तो भी चलेगा, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. और यहाँ पे मैंने ABC वगैरह किया. Alright. Now what I do is gcc -e, small e, temp.c. Wait, what happened? I think it's बड़ा वाला. सॉरी, बड़ा वाला ही है. तुम लोग को दिख रहा है इसमें क्या हो रहा है? जब मैंने ये कमांड लिखा ना, हाईलाइटेड कमांड, तो उसके नीचे देखो temp.c इज द फाइल नेम, उसके बाद कमांड लाइन एंड बिल्ट इन कुछ तो लिखा हुआ है #1 में. ये सब छोड़ दो. इसके नीचे तुम देखोगे ना, void main के अंदर ये जो 4/10 दिख रहा है, the preprocessor has replaced all the instances of abc with 10. This is a preprocessed output basically. This is what your compiler sees. All right. So that's an instance of कोड रिप्लेस होता है. मतलब तो मेमोरी नहीं होता है. प्री प्रोसेसर में तुम जो भी करते हो सिर्फ कोड एक्सचेंज करता है, कॉपी पेस्ट करता है, उसका कुछ मेमोरी एलोकेट नहीं होता है. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट थिंग विच उसके ऊपर क्या आई थिंक हो गए क्या अभी सब?
उतनी ही.
ठीक है. Cool. Any और कुछ डाउट है तो you guys can ask me on WhatsApp or anything. No issues. All right. Chalo.
Manthan, there was a request, just share your source code on this MS Teams and WhatsApp as well, please.
Yeah, sure. I'll share it right away. ये conference
हाँ.
खत्म होने के बाद ही मैं share करता हूँ. ठीक है? You guys have a look at the code. तुम लोगों को किधर भी doubt आता है तो you guys can just ask me tomorrow. I'll explain everything. ठीक है? Thank you for attending this session. Goodbye. See you guys tomorrow.
Bye.